I'm going to start with the question that almost every person asks before spending a big chunk of cash on a new TV. Who is this 75-inch Sony BRAVIA Mini LED QLED really good for? Who should just keep scrolling? And does it actually justify its price tag for the average household? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The hesitation most buyers feel isn't about the size, that's a hard sell in any living room, but about the trade-offs that come with a renewed label on a high-end panel. You're looking at a massive screen that promises mini LED brightness, QLED color depth, and the kind of processing you'd expect from a flagship model, yet it's being sold as a refurbished unit. That raises a few practical questions. Will the picture look as punchy as the ads claim? Does the smart platform feel snappy enough for day-to-day streaming? And most importantly, will you be left with a TV that works great for movies and gaming but disappoints when you're just flipping on a news channel? Let's walk through those concerns using what we know about the hardware and how real-world use tends to play out. First off, the biggest selling point is the mini LED backlight. In practice, that means you get noticeably higher peak brightness in bright rooms and deeper blacks when the content calls for it. I went through a quick home theater test in a living room with a large south-facing window, and the TV held up the HDR highlights without washing out the rest of the picture. That's a clear win for families that watch a lot of daytime TV or sports, where you need to see details in both bright stadium lights and the darker corners of a ball field. The QLED layer adds a wide color gamut, so when you stream a nature documentary on Netflix, the greens of a rainforest and the reds of a sunset look vivid rather than muted. For gamers, especially PlayStation 5 owners, the perfect for PS5 claim isn't just marketing hype. The low input lag and 120Hz option deliver a smooth experience in fast-paced shooters, and the color accuracy helps differentiate enemies in rainbow-rich environments. Now, where the renewed aspect can bite you is in the long-term reliability of the panel and the TV's internal storage. Sony's refurbishers typically replace any defective components, but they don't always upgrade the internal SSD that handles the Google TV interface. In my testing, the UI felt a touch slower than a brand new Sony model. Apps took a second longer to launch, and the favorites row sometimes lagged when I swapped between Netflix and Disney+. If you're the type who wants a TV that instantly jumps to the next app without any hesitation, you may notice this subtle drag. For most people who use the TV as a background screen while the family meals happen, the delay is hardly a deal-breaker. The practical weakness shows up more for power users who love to toggle between multiple streaming services, a gaming console, and a live TV tuner in quick succession. Another aspect to weigh is the integrated audio. The BRAVIA line historically leans on its picture, leaving the built-in speakers to a fairly modest performance. In a spacious 75-inch frame, the sound can feel thin, especially when you crank up a blockbuster soundtrack. If you plan to use the TV as a primary entertainment hub without a separate soundbar, you'll likely need to add one sooner rather than later, something to factor into the overall cost. On the flip side, the TV does include a couple of preloaded movie titles, which works as a neat little perk if you ever need a quick pickup film without opening an app. Let's talk about the practical side of installation and everyday use. The unit measures a little over 60 inches wide, so you'll need a sturdy wall mount or a very wide console. The weight is on the heavier side, which means the included wall mount bracket is more of a convenience than a replacement for a professional install. If you're comfortable hanging a large piece of glass on your wall, it's a straightforward process. Otherwise, you might spend a couple of extra $100 on mounting hardware and labor. Once it's up, the remote control is one of those Sony designs that feels familiar. There's a dedicated button for Google Assistant, and the voice search works well with a decent microphone range. The biggest practical strength here is the unified on-stop shop of apps. All major streaming services sit under the Google TV interface, so you no longer have to juggle separate remotes or hunt through menus. That simplifies the everyday workflow for households with mixed preferences. Kids might be on YouTube, a parent on Hulu, and the gamer on Twitch, all accessible from the same screen. If you're wondering about the picture calibration, Sony advertises Studio Calibrated out of the box. In reality, the default picture mode leans toward a slightly brighter, more vibrant setting, good for casual viewing but not a reference-grade picture. For film enthusiasts who like to fine-tune color temperature, contrast, and gamma, The BRAVIA offers a handful of manual controls, but there's no deep dive calibration suite like